Right, so the next video we're going to have a look at is drawing a tank like this. So this one does build up quite a few different skills in terms of it looks at having different components. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a new drawing, start. So once we've opened up a new drawing, from there again we'll just get rid of the person. And we're going to draw up a square block 64 wide by 124. And we just hit enter there, and that'll force the dimensions. So again, zoom extents down there, rotate it around so we can see what we're doing, and we're then going to make that shape 48 high. From here we're going to need to do some drawing work on the underside to create the tank shape. So we need to rotate so we can see underneath the shape, and we're going to use the tape measure tool to offset the sides. That will be 12 in from the other side. Just press undo there. It's only into 2, so again just 12. Enter, and then from there we're going to need to draw a rectangle on the base, and then the rectangle can just be pushed up 36. That will give us the start of our shape. Now on this drawing there's going to be quite a lot of construction lines, so I would recommend removing them once you finish them. So these construction lines can come out now. That gets rid of those. And then we're going to do a slightly different way of forming a hole on the top. So get to a point where we can see the top of the shape. We click over here on the circle tool. What we can do is we can just sit on the edge of that line there so it tracks to the midpoint, and then if we move out to around the middle, if we come onto the other side, find the midpoint, and what should happen is you should then track the two shapes. So you'll see the dotted green line and the dotted red line, and once they both light up the two midpoints, that's the centre. From there we're going to put a 6 diameter hole in, and then we will project that hole down using the extrude tool 12, and that gives us where the turret's going to sit on top. From there we're going to start doing some detailing on the sides. Now the sides are going to need separately detailing, so you will have to repeat this. So I'll work through the first side and the sizes that are required. So on the first side you're going to be looking at the offset in from the edge, 32, 32 from the front, and then 12 up. And that'll give us the centres for the holes for the wheels. So wheels are going to be 3, and those holes are going to be 12 deep. So from there just go forward 12, again force the dimensions by just typing them in. Now delete those lines, and we are also going to put a slight angle on the edge here. So we need the offset tool. I'm going to offset 24 from the edge, 24 up, and 24 from the lead edge. I'm going to draw some lines across there. And again, just project them through. 12. 12 again. And then I'm going to delete those construction lines, and we'll just repeat the same process on the other side of the shape. So rotate it round. Repeat the same process. So tape measure tool, offset 32, offset 32, offset 12, oops, offset 12, Old keyboard, this wearing out. 3 for that, 3 for the radius on the other hole, and then we'll just push them back through 12. Push that back through 12, and then delete those guidelines. And 24 from the edge. 24 up. From that back edge, and draw a line across. Line across there. Then project them 12. Project it 12. That should give us our basic tank shape for the base. Now from there, rotate this around. So that gives us the basic shape on the base of the tank. So what we need to do now is get the arrow key, select the entire shape, and if we right click on that shape we can make it into a component. So we'll call this tank base. Okay, and that's now a separate solid object on the drawing that we just move around. Now we are going to start building the top of the tank, the turret on top of this shape, and then we'll turn it into a separate component afterwards. So I'll just rotate this around so we can see the top of the shape, and we're going to get the guideline. We're coming from the edge there, 31. Let's redo that. Again, keyboard's not registered it. 31. Enter. 31. Enter. I'm coming from the edge just 10. And then we'll draw a square on the top, which is going to form the base of our turret. Square can then be dragged upwards, and we're going to go for a thickness of 24 with this one. And again, I'm going to get rid of the guidelines, just because it's going to cause us problems going forward if we've got too many lines on here. From there I'll rotate it around slightly and zoom in. And we're going to do some offset lines on here. Now they don't evenly set in these lines. We're going to go back 12 from the front, 12 forward from the back, and then drop in 10 from the sides. 10 from the side there. And again, we'll just link up these lines. And then project them down 24. And I'll delete the guidelines. And that's given us our tank turret shape. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a turret actually coming out from the front there. So again, we'll use the trick of allowing the computer to find centers for us. So we'll go to the midpoint there with a circle, come down to the middle, and then we'll just come over to the side till it snaps on, and then we'll let it find the midpoint for us. Click there, expand that, go for a 6 radius, and then we're going to project that out. Do you know what, 6 radius is looking a bit huge, so we'll just go on there and we'll go 3 radius. Oops. So midpoint, track it, 3 radius. Now we're going to come out 50. Right, so that's the turret so far. What we are going to do now is we're going to put the hole underneath it to actually allow it to locate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grab tool just to get the item selected. So I'm going to select going left to right. I'm going to select the turret, but I'm not going to catch all of the base. So we just selected that. If I went the other way, dragging across the screen, it would select anything it touched. So we've got to go left to right to do this. Make sure you don't get all the base. There I can move the turret. I can slide it across. I'll keep running on that red angle there. It's going to be easier. I'm going to come across the red angle. I'm going to force the 100 offset. So I've slid that 100 to that direction going on the red line, so I'm matching the line at the back. From there I can rotate under that base. Pan across. Again, circle tool, touch onto that edge there, find the centre. Touch onto that edge, find the centre. 6, and then we're going to project that down 12, and then from there I'll just rotate this around, and I'm actually going to turn this into a solid shape. So again, I use the arrow key, grab the top of the tank, right click on it, and I'm going to make it a component again. I'm going to call this turret. Okay. And now that will be seen as a separate item within the drawing. Just use my move tool again, get the top, track it again on the red line, and if I just go 100 back, then that allows me to just drop it straight onto the top there. Now, this is a bit I like doing the least on this type of drawing, and it's because I don't actually like how this sets up in terms of alignment and joining things together. So the next thing we're going to do is a wheel. And we're actually going to draw it on the side here of the shape. And we're going to draw that out to a radius of 16. From there, we're going to project the shape out for the wheel, and we're going to come across on that 32. And I'm actually going to grab that shape now, done that, just select the whole shape, oops, select the whole shape, and I'm going to move it out, give myself a bit of distance from the original shape. From there we can rotate this round so we can see the edge of it. I'm going to draw another circle in the middle of there, so come to the edge there, it should allow me to snap to the middle. It's going to have a 3 radius, and then we're going to come out 16. We can go around to the other side, we'll do exactly the same on the other side. So we've got the circle tool, go to the edge, and it should allow us to snap, find the middle. If we then drift over towards the middle, 3, 16 again, and then we're going to grab that entire shape, right click on it, and we're going to make it a component. We're going to call it a wheel. So I've created a wheel shape there now. So once I've done that, I can right click on the wheel shape, I can use the copy tool up there at the top, click off, and then I can use paste. And it should, if it's going to behave itself, give us a second wheel. There you go. From there, the last thing we need to do on this drawing is actually assemble the wheels into place. And like I said, this is where I feel this software does fall down in terms of, I've used other packages in the past that have just had simple alignment tools. So I'll get these roughly into where I want them using the move tool over here at the side. So you can see that those aren't quite lined up at the moment. Just going to Whenever you're switching between components, you'll need to use the arrow tool. That's approximately right there. Height line's not quite right. If I rotate this around to the side, I'll probably just about line it up now. There we go, it has lined up alright. There are other packages I've used in the past that make that easy, because what you can do is you can pick two surfaces and tell them you want them to connect, which makes things an awful lot easier. That's actually reasonably good in terms of connecting on this program. So there we go. That is our 3D tank with wheel components added in. And if you want to play around with some other things on here, you can use the colour section. And if you go into the materials, if you go into the search sections on here, there are additional components and additional bits you can do. So we could colour sections in there, we can add different materials. So if I wanted to make the wheel out of stone, for instance, could do that. You know, we can paint materials on there, we can pick different sections, so yeah, we can make a quite interestingly coloured vehicle there by going through those sections. Right, good luck with that.